What is up, boys and girls, and those who want to throw me out of a helicopter? It's Comrade Kalashnikov here, and today I'm going to be responding to Mr. Dapperton's video, Who's the Real Anarchists? Ancoms vs ANCAPs. Firstly, I am not going to be defending the subject of his video. I am only going to point to his arguments against anarcho-communism and debunk them, since a lot of his arguments against anarcho-communism come from a reaction to violent anti-fa movements, which I, as an anarchist, strongly oppose. I made 2 videos about that, for crying out loud, which I consider my best shit. Watch that! Anyway, let's get into it.
Anarchism just means no rulers. Capitalism is the only system that exists that will give you no rulers. But what do you guys want to do? You guys want to create a communist system that outlaws selling your own labor.
That's not true. We do want to create a communist system, but that communist system would remove the need for someone to sell their labor rather than outlaw it. There's a famous quote by an anarchist and social anthropologist, David Graeber, in which he says, "You always see ANCAPs saying, if I want to hire someone to pick my tomatoes, how are you going to stop me without using coercion? Notice how you never hear anyone say, if I want to hire myself out to pick someone else's tomatoes, how are you going to stop me?" Historically, nobody ever did wage labour like that if they had pretty much any other option. In the case of a communist system, if an individual contributes to the society they live in, it is in the self-interest of the community's members to provide for this individual to keep them consent in the society and keep up morale.
That is the most basic freedom of all, and you want to outlaw that? That requires some pretty powerful and tyrannical rulers, don't you think? And if it requires rulers, that means there's rulers, and it's no longer anarchism. You follow? Oh, but capitalism requires rulers. No, it's called voluntary hierarchy. You go to someone's business, you go to someone's private property. Yeah, you have to obey their rules, but you don't have to be on their property. You don't have to work for them. That is voluntary. With communism, everything's forced by rulers. Therefore, not real anarchism. Because, again, rulers.
Wait, where's the rulers? Communism is a society based off a system of classlessness and statelessness, from each according to his ability to each according to his need. So if this individual provides with their ability, it's in the self-interest of others to provide for him. That's what communism is.
My principles are 100% anarcho-capitalist. I don't like being referred to an anarchist because that name's been tainted by anarcho-communists. But it doesn't change the fact that my beliefs are those of anarcho-capitalists, and that I am technically an anarcho-capitalist. The reason why I consider myself a voluntarist and the fact that I believe in voluntarism is because I don't want to be associated with anarchists because they get associated with anarcho-communists who are a bunch of fucking idiots.
No. Antifa are a bunch of fucking idiots. I would technically be an anarcho-communist as I believe in a stateless method of reaching communism. But hey, I'll grant you that a lot of anarcho-communists are fucking idiots because of their dogmatic obsession with divisive identity politics. But I am behind that. I am a communist who desires a voluntary society based on from each according to his ability to each according to his need.
I gotta tell you, that doesn't shock me that you think that. Somebody disagrees with me. I gotta punch them in the face. Well, how about just trying to have a conversation with them and enlighten them? Use education to change their mind. That's what I plan to do. I want to change everybody's mind through education. Because if everybody believed what I believe, right? If everybody believed what I believe tomorrow, the next day, there wouldn't be any government. Because people would stop showing up to their government jobs, and people wouldn't fucking want government anymore, so they would stop making it happen. That's the solution.
Hey, I'd love to do that, Dapperton. So what are you waiting for? Get in the Great Hall and come to the channel Challenge Ancom. There, I have 20 key points I argue for, and I want you to challenge the ones you disagree with. I want to do nothing but have a conversation about these. I believe in a format known as the Hegelian dialectic. Through this, I have helped numerous right-wingers, capitalists, ANCAPs, right-wing libertarians, etc. get a better understanding of communism. purging the propaganda that they've learnt from the Cold War out of their minds.
I'm not going to force somebody to live like me, okay? But that's what you'll do. You'll be like, live like me or I'm going to kill you. Because you're a piece of shit. You shouldn't force people to live like you want to live. People should voluntarily choose if they want to live like you.
I want to do that, create a society where me, along with a bunch of other leftists, live self-sufficient, independent from state or market dependence. My theory is when these societies have better living standards than the outside world, then the idea of dual power will kick in, and people will start moving to these societies. This is my view of how anarchism will come around. No violence necessary.
Have you never heard of changing people's minds? No, you haven't heard that? You just heard, think what I think or I'll kill you? That's all you know of? See, this is why people hate the left. Because instead of having a civilized debate and, just proving your argument to be legitimate, instead, you guys just want to punch your opponent in the face because you don't have a good argument. See, in this instance, you're even worse because you're saying that you should not only punch the people that disagree with you, but you should violently overthrow and kill them. It's so fucking funny to me. If you want to go live in a commune, no one's stopping you. You could have done that the whole time, but instead you're trying to force the entire society to do it with you when they don't fucking want to. Because you're a violent, authoritarian prick.
Oh, I strongly agree with that statement. I want to add on that if you initiate violence against any individuals, you cannot be an anarchist. You want to be the ruler in that situation so you dominate others you don't like. Antifa, which has now been ruled in New Jersey as a domestic terror organisation, which is something I told them that would happen if they continued. They didn't listen. I told them to stop being violent psychopaths, but they never listened to me. Now the US government is creating anti-anarchist legislation to indefinitely detain anarchists for the awful crime of possessing anarchist literature. I'm not even kidding. This individual has never been violent in the name of their beliefs, so why should they get incarcerated and thrown in a cage like a fucking animal?
Anyways, I'm out of this bitch. Catch you on the next episode.
Everything should be free.
Free, huh? Would you like a free helicopter ride?
Oh, please give that Antifa prick one. Hey, Dapperton, could I... Just a minute, alright? Could I borrow one of your helicopters? I've got a lot of Antifa cooks that want to kill me. As a communist, I have a self-interest in providing for your needs, since you're providing for mine. This is what communism is. A system based on ethical egoism, from each according to his ability, to each according to his need.
I survived.
Ah, damn it.